Hi, before I say something, let's watch this video together. This is a very disturbing video. I am not sure if they're going to allow me to pause the whole graphic because it's very disturbing and very sensitive. But I'm just going to play a small clip of this video so that we can come back and talk about it. Because since I made my last post, a lot of people have been saying that this is AI, this is not South Africa, this is that we are talking practically bullshit, that those things didn't happen in South Africa. I have a lot of videos of example of the South African xenophobia, and I was not going to talk about this topic anymore, but something happened. There was this message, this guy that kept on messaging me, and I felt like I have to tell a little bit of my story so that people really know that this did not start now. For those who say that my first post was not in South Africa, and some of them, they even say it was AI, and I kept on asking them, if this was not South Africa, did my post deny what is happening in South Africa? And nobody couldn't give me any answer. A lot of South Africans, they are misinterpreting why people are very mad. We did not say that you have no right to do whatsoever you want to do in your country. Of course, it's your country. You can do whatever you want. But as a country, I guess you guys have laws. I'm going to start saying that I'm very, very, very disappointed at the South Africans. I'm so disappointed at them because this is not the first time, as I said before, it was not the first time that this is happening. I think 2 or 3 years ago, they did the same thing. This is not the first time, as we all know, that this is happening in South Africa. And this is always happening when it comes to other South African countries, because I have not seen any attack on white foreigners. I'm not seeing any attack on Chinese people, Indian people. I'm not seeing any attack of any other people, only the Black African people. And this is where you South Africa are getting it wrong. You understand? We are not saying that you have not right to take away illegal immigrants. No, you do have the right, but this is not your job. This is your government job. Claiming that the illegal immigrants, they are practically abusing the system. You are claiming that the illegal immigrants, they are bringing crime. You are claiming that illegal immigrants, especially Nigerians, Nigerians are taking your women. You are claiming a lot of bullshit that we all know that is not true. I live in South Africa. I used to study there. And if you check my previous post, I think I said something about it. That I'm going to be talking about my experience while I was in South Africa. And I think this is the time to let people know that South Africa is not what we thought that it was. South Africa is not the country that we thought that it was. When I decided to go and study in South Africa, I thought South Africa was something else. I love Nelson Mandela. I love his culture. And I thought everybody was like him. You understand? Let's go back to Cape Town, where I studied. I lived in Cape Town for 3 years. My first years, it was a little bit difficult. You understand? First thing I noticed, people, South African, Black South African, are not friendly. I was not there to make friends, obviously, but somebody come to your country to study. I did not speak English. So it was very hard for me to relate with the South Africans. First thing they do, they speak to you in their language, not even in English, because they expect you to speak Xhosa, Zulu, Afrikaans. They expect you to speak the language as a Black person. And when they realize that you cannot speak the language, they will come for you and they will tell you, how don't you speak the native language of this country? And you tell them, I'm not South African. They don't get it. Oh, what are you doing here? Obviously. What do you mean what I'm doing here? I'm studying. In their head, because South African people do not travel. And they cannot imagine that some people actually want to maybe study in a country that they don't speak the same language so that they can learn the language. I wanted to learn the culture. I wanted to learn everything about South Africa. Most of my friends, they were Africans, the white South Africans. They were more friendly. And I didn't understand why. Because they were so nice. Although, in my head, I still had that idea that these white people that made the South Africans suffer so much, I didn't like them. I didn't hate them, but I didn't like them. So in my mind, I didn't want to have nothing to do with the white South Africans. But when I went there, the Black South Africans, they were mean. They were not even, once they know that they cannot speak to you through their native language, they will not speak to you in English. Sometimes they will talk to you knowing that you don't speak their language, and they will keep saying things to you in their language and telling you then in English that, oh, you have to learn the language. I was like, wow, this is huge. But then I realized, wow, why South Africans are really, really nice people. Like, what is going on? A country where people, those people in Cape Town, they call them the color people. They take their teeth out for fashion. Men and women, they take, sometimes both, the teeth, they take them out for fashion. I started to notice that something was not right in this country. Like, something was not right. They don't know anything outside of South Africa. They don't know. They know countries like Nigeria, maybe Zambia, Zimbabwe, Kenya, those, all the big countries. But apart from that, they can't even tell you the story of Africa. They only know the story of South Africa, the apartheid and everything. They only know about that, and that's it. And maybe the USA, and that's it. And I was like, wow. I thought South Africa was a different place. I thought South African people were humble people. South African people, they're supposed to be nice to most of, not most, all of the other African continents. I started to realize that now, this is exactly what Nelson Mandela was fighting for. Nelson Mandela didn't just fight for apartheid. Nelson Mandela fight for the people to try to change their mentality, letting them know that there is a life after South Africa, because he traveled the world. He understood what it means to adapt. But South Africans, they took him for granted. They took Nelson Mandela for granted. The first time I read the book, I did not quite understand. The second time, and then I lived there, I knew that this was a battle that this man could not win, because he was fighting his own people. He did not fight against the white. He was fighting with the same South African people. And this is what we see now today. This is what we see now. When I was in Cape Town, I didn't finish. I studied in Cape Peninsula University. What made me leave South Africa, although I didn't personally be in a situation where they abused me physically, but I have friends, I had my family there. We were robbed. They did not abuse me, but I had my friends from Angola, from Gabon, from Nigerians at the university, that these people were constantly abusing and threatening, and all sort of thing was happening. Cape Town is like a city with a lot of mountains, I can say, yes. So where we study, the bus drops you down and you have to like walk through the hill. South Africa was so bad that you cannot walk on the daytime 10 a.m. in the morning to go to school without being robbed. If you are inside the bus and you're sitting close to the door, when somebody goes down, you might get robbed. In South Africa, every day it was a constant battling for your life in South Africa. I'm still in Cape Town. I will tell you the story about Pretoria. I live in Cape Town while I was studying, but my family live in Pretoria. While I was in Cape Town, my own brother was attacked. They caught him here, right here, in Long Street, where there is a lot of people. If you know Cape Town, you know what I'm talking about. This is the Long Street. Check it out. A lot of people out there, but they will rob you in front of everybody and nobody's going to do anything. When they want to do something, they do it. And you say that foreigners are bringing crime to your country. The day I decided that I'm leaving South Africa, I was going to my school. The bus stopped, and I saw in the day how a South African guy stopped on his car, shoot at a white guy 2 times. The guy died, and the guy took off in his car and left. I never seen how they kill somebody in front of me in my life. I never, that was like a movie thing. This is the type of thing that you see in the USA. And I live in the USA for more than 10 years. I never experienced that. It's not that it doesn't happen, but normally it does happen in places where you know that this bad neighborhoods. But no, this was not in a bad neighborhood. This was in town, broad daylight. The guy was coming from a shop, and they just shot him. This was a South African, claiming that foreigners are the one bringing crimes, foreigners are the one bringing drugs, maybe this you can tell it to people that they don't really know South Africa. I'm not saying that there's no foreigners over there that are doing crimes or what. I'm not saying that. But for you to put it that way is wrong. It's very wrong. The police are there to do their jobs. I saw videos where you are taking down shops of people that they work so hard to build their shops, and you burn it down. You took the merchandise, you put it down. How come somebody illegal is going to come into your country, build something that is going to bring money to your economy, and you're still claiming that they have to go, they have to leave your country? I do not understand. Where is the problem? How do you know who is legal, who is not illegal? When you go to hospitals and you tell people that to stand up, women, pregnant women, and to leave, claiming that they are illegal. I mean, I don't get it. If you want to fight illegal immigration, let your government do their jobs. Let them do the job, because you are doing it the wrong way. Yes. You are getting other countries very, very, very upset. And people that they don't have anything to do with that, they might be suffering. As they are suffering right now in Nigeria. It's not right. Anyway, anyhow you want to see it, it's not right. It does not show what an African man, an African culture represents. We as Africans, although my country never been a slave, I'm going to tell you, you people think that I'm Nigerian. I'm not Nigerian. I'm not Ghanaian. I'm just a proud African woman. But we never been a slave. My country was colonized by the Spanish people, but we were not a slave. We were a city that belongs to the Spanish country. There are other countries that they suffer slavery also, like you people. A lot of black Africans, they took them to the USA. Slavery is a big thing that a lot of African people suffer. For you to come and say that, no, we are not brothers, just because we are Africans, we are not brothers, and don't think, oh God. Have you guys ever seen any other continent calling them like, oh, these people are from European, these people are, no. They're only Africans. Wherever we go, they will call us. They don't even care to know if we are from South Africa, or we are from Cameroon, or you are from Ghana, or you are from Nigeria. If you go to Europe, you go to America, you go to the Arab countries, even the Arab countries, they call us Africans. They don't even care. And I don't get offended to be called an African, because I am so proud. I don't even bother to tell them that, oh, I'm not from this country, I'm not from I don't have time. Because I believe that my African roots makes me who I am. We are different. We are unique. We are special. For you to say, oh, no, I'm not, like, who cares? You cannot change the fact that you're still going to be African. But that's not where I'm going. Let's go back. Let's go back of the crime that is happening in South Africa by South Africans. My family owns a house in Pretoria, a nice, quiet neighborhood. We were the only black people there. But guess what? We were the only people that they constantly rob. South Africans rob us at least 2 times every month. Or when it was too much, I don't know if they were using juju. Sometimes everybody would be asleep. And next day, boom, everything is gone. It gets so worse that we had to buy, because whenever we had cameras. They had those people on camera. We called the police. The police pretended as they are doing any type of investigation. They did nothing. Nothing. We had security. We had dogs. 2. I don't know. We were constantly robbed. But they leave all the White Houses. They only was robbing us. Thank God. Nobody was ever killed. Nobody was ever hurt while they were doing their job. We wanted to leave, but we bought the house already. So we had to finish, my sisters, my cousin, because I was studying in Cape Town. But when I come to Pretoria, the reality was worse. My sisters, they could not walk by themselves. After school, you have to wait for somebody to come so that you can walk home, because the bus will drop you maybe at the park, and you have like a 5-minute walk. They will come with knives. Give me your phone. If you are unlucky, they will rape you. The crime is too much in South Africa, my people. You cannot claim that foreigners are the one bringing the crime. This is bullshit. The crime in South Africa made me leave South Africa. I was like, no. And you know what? I've traveled the world. I've been in so many places, but what I saw in South Africa was just too much. And I never been in a ghetto place in my life in South Africa. What I saw, what I heard, made me not even wanting to go there. Because I was like, I can never. I saw the documentaries and all that. But imagine, these things are happening in town. These things are happening in town. And nobody's doing nothing. You can be robbed. The guy will run. Everybody's going to be looking at him. Nobody's going to follow him. And that's it. As long as you scream, nothing is going to happen. I remember one day, me and my sister, we went to Mr. Price. You know Mr. Price. Mr. Price back in the days was one of the cheapest shops. It was like, let's see, the Primark or the Rose in America, the Marshalls, the Rose. It was the typically shop where you can get good stuff with, at a cheap price. That day, me and my cousin, my little cousin, we went to do shopping. We did not spend less than 2,000 rands. When we were going out, my sister had something like this. Yes, a clothes like this. Yeah, she wore something like that. And I believe it was something for the hair. Just hang between her back, and because she was holding her back and the clothes. So the thing was in the back. I didn't see it. She didn't see it. While we were going out with the plastic, we had a bunch of plastic. The alarm rang. And we were like, what's going on? And they say, hey, come back here. You know how they speak. Come back here. We saw them like, we just bought those things. They passed the plastics one by one, but nothing was ringing. And then they told my cousin to try to pass. And the thing rang. The alarm went off. And we were like, and then they say, here, she have something here. We were like, what is it? This is something. It was like, how do they call this? For the hair, pin's hair, like a small, just one pin's hair. It was like this small for the kids. And we were trying to tell them that we didn't know, maybe they said no. That we tried to steal, and then they have to call the police. We were like, at first, we thought that they were joking, like, for real. It was like, yes, we have to call the police. You people are coming to steal here. And we say, okay, call the manager. Can we speak with the manager? Because this is a misunderstanding. You clearly see that, like, who will want to come and spend all this amount of money and then come and steal? They said, okay, we're going to call the manager. When the manager came, they said, oh, ma'am, we're sorry, but we have to call the police because you, even though you spend, when somebody's a thief, she doesn't know that she's stealing. That you people are so used to steal that even though you want to come and buy, even though you came and buy, but you still feel the need to steal. This was something that it was less than $1 or maybe $1. And like, are you kidding me? I say, okay, call the police. Call the police. We're going to talk about this because this is not right. I mean, you cannot have us here just because of this. And it's clearly a misunderstanding because it was hanging there. I mean, we didn't see it. These people called the police on us. The police came. That was on a Friday. And we call our father, and we are diplomatics. Imagine, we are diplomatics. These people did not even care. The police didn't even care that these people are diplomatics. They didn't care that we spend so much money. They didn't care about what my embassy was telling them. And when they said, you know, the only thing that they're going to do is like they're going to take my sister and she's going to sleep because it was on a Friday and they could not do anything. They had to wait until Monday. They made my sister sleep in jail. Yes. For something that worth $1. She slept on Friday because they said she had to wait until Monday. They could not do anything. And they took my sister. I was in shock. I was in shock. Like, at that time, we were kids, you understand? But now that I'm thinking about it, it pains me. It really pains me. At that time, we didn't have social media. Like, yes, they have like, how do they call this? I think high five. But nobody was using social media like this now in the days. And we were in shock. I never see something like this. So, she had to be there on Monday. They were like, oh, sorry, we apologize, we investigated. I remember even telling them that, okay, let's check the cameras. They did not agree to check the cameras. And it was not only one person. No one person came and sympathize with us and tell the manager, the police, and the people like, no, how can these people can go to jail just because of this? Or how can you can, like, no one stood up for us. When they saw us speaking in Spanish that we didn't really understand English, we couldn't really explain to them. You know how frustrated it is? Like when you cannot speak the language. And then they were mixing their dialect with English. And you were like, guys, what are you talking about? You cannot properly communicate. You feel so miserable that I was like, no, I'm done with South Africa. I'm done. This is crazy. They sent my sister to jail for something that was less than $1 or $1 plus after spending almost 2,000 rands in a shop just because we were foreigners. When they realize that we cannot speak the language, we did not understand English properly, we did not understand classes, they knew that we are from these people, and you are telling me that you guys are not xenophobic. For real? This is not about us Africans coming to tell you how to rule your country. No. This is you. This is us telling you that stop maltreating African people. There is a way. You find out that these people are illegal. There's a due process to do this. I remember we had a raid in my country. We did. You put them in jail. You give them the opportunity to either arrange their papers or go back and enter legally. Simple. This is how you're supposed to do things. If you don't want any foreigners to come into your country, speak with your government. Tell your government to do laws that will not allow foreigners to stay in your country more than a certain period. That would be easy. But when a foreigner is already opening businesses in your country, this person is no longer illegal. When you open a business, I don't know if I'm getting, I don't know. But I know that in order to open a business, you have to have certain type of documentations. Any person that is illegal is not likely to open a business in a foreign country. And by you ruining that business, you are just ruining the business that give a lot of your people food on the table. You understand? We're not mad. I remember even saying that it's not like I am applauding what you guys are doing. I get your point. Believe me, I get your point. Because there is a lot of immigrant people that migrating all over the world. It's okay if you don't want that to happen in your country. Because I've seen what is happening in Europe. I've seen what is happening in America. And yes, nobody will want to deal with so many foreigners that they don't have nothing to do. I get your point. I don't know. I get your point. The only thing, what I'm saying is like, you have to find a way to do it. I already been in South Africa, and I know I cannot live in South Africa. I know I cannot live in South Africa. I know what I passed through. I know what I've been through. I know the type of people that South Africans are. Maybe this is your culture, and I respect that. But this is something that I cannot deal with. And you guys are saying that, no, a lot of foreigners are coming to you, going up and down. There is something that they call tourism. People like to visit other places. People like to know about other cultures. People like to relate sometimes with another type of environment to know what is happening in the world. You understand? Just because you see a foreigner, you don't think that this person is your enemy. And the worst part is that you saying that, no, the foreigners, the white foreigners are investors, and the black African people are, how do they call it? Like, this is so, what is happening? What is happening with you guys? What is happening in South Africa? I thought, I didn't, all these years, I never tell nobody about what we experience in South Africa. We used to joke about it with my family. Between us, we joke about it. Some of our friends, we joke about it every time. Like, we just laugh like, whoa, like South Africans, whoa. Gosh, but it's been more than how many years? You still have the same mentality? Now, peace and love.